Hi, greetings and welcome fellow YouTubers out there. This week on the weekly update we managed to get ourselves a brand new PC. Yes, and with that we've been trying out all sorts of things such as like seeing if Star Citizen would stream and having a good old look into Half-Life Alyx. All that coming up on this week's weekly update. Hi, welcome. So this week has been a little bit of an eventful week for myself. Now, some of you guys may or may not have known that what I've been using all the way up to until now is been this little thing. It's a nice laptop. It's when it came out six years ago, I called it the Beast because it was quite impressive at that time. But over time, it has shown its lack for being able to do what I need it to do. I have tried multiple times in the past to try and see if I could get VR to work on it. Tried playing Star Citizen to a proper extent, or even trying to see if I can do some live streams for it, or even trying a little bit of mixed reality. But the thing is with my old laptop is it wasn't powerful enough to or wasn't designed to do anything extensive. I mean, I use it for doing my video editing, and I will continue on using it to do my video editing and maybe also some computer graphics and animations. For that, it seems to be fine. But pushing forward with VR technology and doing some of the things that I want to do on this channel, it just isn't cutting the mustard, so to speak. It has it originally had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I upgraded that to 20 gigabytes of RAM, and I replaced the internal hard drives with an SSD hard drive. So that at least got improved a little bit. But the graphics card, the onboard graphics card, was an NVIDIA GTX 960. Now, I didn't know too much about what constitutes as good graphics cards. My knowledge of computer equipment dates way back to the beginning of the century. So what I know from like graphics cards and computer equipment and internal processing powers and such, it's different to what it is today. And I don't know if like a 960 graphics card is any good or not. And I've been told, no, it's not. It's not any good. It is just one spec lower than what is needed to be able to use VR properly. Not only that, it is a mobile version of that graphics card, so it can fit inside the laptop. So it's not even a full powered 960 graphics card, it's a cut down version of the 960 graphics card. So it just doesn't want to do what I needed to do. So now, over the past year, I have been having it's been longer. This debate in my head has been going on for ages now. For ages, I have wanted to get the PlayStation 5. Long before it was even announced, 2 years before it was even announced, I wanted to save my money to get the PlayStation 5. And then when it got launched, no one could get it for love nor money because the scalpers were all buying it up. And I kept on saying, right, I'm going to save up until I finally get that PlayStation 5. I'm not going to get anything else. I'm just going to save it until I got that PlayStation 5. But I think I was doing myself a disservice from there. Without getting a decent PC, I believe that I was holding this channel back. I was not being able to go for the full potential of what I want to do. So to that extent, I have been like looking up online for the past couple of months, computers to try and get. But considering my laptop was an i7 processor, I thought, well, if that's the state of that laptop, then I need an i7 powered desktop. And they were so expensive. Everything that was i7 was over like 1,000, maybe like 1,500, sometimes going up to 2,000. And if you want something that was really good, like an i9 or i10, oh, you need to be taking out a second mortgage for that. So yeah, I kind of shriveled away from getting a new PC for some time. But then people have been telling me to say, no, don't worry about the i7 thing. i5s are good enough because the i5 only just does one little task inside the PC. What do you want? You want the memory, you want the graphics cards, you want the hard drives, all does their parts. All of them does their parts to increase and improve the performance. So I bit the bullet earlier on and started looking around for i5 desktops. And I found one that was just under £1,000, just under £1,000. And I thought, okay, i5, what has it got? It's got a pretty decent graphics cards. It's got a pretty decent motherboard, pretty decent memory. Everything looks all quite good. And then I was going to buy that, but I thought, hold on a sec, let me just do a little bit of investigating. And I looked at the actual CPU on the Intel site, and the CPU was old technology. It was two years old, out of date. It was like a 9400F or something like that. So I had a look, and there was another computer that was just £30 more expensive, just an extra 30 quid, and it had an i5 10400 in there, 10400. And that was more recent. It was a next generation i5 computer processor, and it had multi-threading technology in there. So, oh, new technology, multi-threading, that sounds good. I'd rather have something than not have it. So, just for a sheer £30 increase in the price, well, right. Hon, can I borrow some cash, please? I called out to my missus and then decided to see if we can split 50-50 with the missus as like a little bit of investment. Can I have £500 to buy a computer, please?
Only if you can still let me pay my rent.
Okay. Yeah, so I asked the missus to see if we can split 50-50 on the actual desktop to buy that. And now here is the specifications. I'm looking around from where my iPad is. I thought I brought it in, but I must have forget that. Now let's see if I can do this from memory. Now the specifications are here, or here, whichever way. If I'm facing the wrong way, flip me over. Wait, okay. Now if I get this right, I think it is right. i5 10400. CPU with multi-threading technology. The graphics card is a NVIDIA 3060. So I think that's actually with RTX capabilities. I'm quite looking forward to the RTX capabilities. Playing ray trace Minecraft, I'm on for that. Next up we've got was the memory, which I think was 16 gigabytes of RAM, but using DDR4, which is, I believe, quite the latest rate. Oh, speaking of RAM, the graphics card was 12 gigabytes DDR3. I was a bit concerned about that 12 gigabytes, because it doesn't normally go in those sort of hops. Some people told me that it was just a marketing ploy for the 3060 graphics card, but hey ho, more RAM is always good for me. I'm sure I'm going to be using it up if I ever do some graphics editing or graphics creation or animations on there. What else did we have? We had 260 gigabytes of SSD for the system drive and 1 terabyte hard drive for a standard IDE. I'm not sure if they're called IDE anymore or if it's something else, but so a normal standard hard drive to go alongside. On top of that, you've got a nice flashy case, multiple 3.0 USB sockets, which are all good. Several HDMI cable sockets that I can be used to connect up to multiple screens. It's unfortunate I've only got one at the moment, but I've got others that I can use if I fish them out of the dust them off a little bit. Yeah. So that's the computer I've got. All come with nice Windows 10 built in. And so with this, when I finally got this computer, I then spent the next 24 hours. Yeah, that's right. I got home. I saw that I had the computer, and thankfully I had booked the next day off of work. And I needed it because after I started unpacking it, unboxing it, setting it up, I spent over 24 hours from unboxing to setting it up to start downloading all the software, start playing around with a few games. Yeah, I must admit I did play good old Star Citizen for a fair bit. You know, I've got to test the graphics a bit. I've got to test it just to see what it is. And then I spent ages trying to get the Oculus Quest to work with Steam using a casting based system and using several other programs mixed and matched up together to get like communications tool and such, so that I could stream a VR game. And of course, the very first VR game that I wanted to play on this PC, the very first game I wanted to play was Half-Life Alyx. And oh boy, am I loving Half-Life Alyx. It is such a gem. I mean, a lot of people say that it is Half-Life 3, and at the same time it's not Half-Life 3 because it's set in the past before the events of Half-Life 3. But I mean, when I looked around at that city, and I'm just like going, look at that. Oh, the graphics. The amazing attention to detail. Mwah, loving it. It was an awesome experience to finally be able to experience proper PC VR for the first time, and that was in the form of Half-Life Alyx. So I spent like another several hours, like 4 or 5 hours, just like playing that game non-stop. And that's kind of what I've been doing for most of this week, is that I've been trying to play through this game. Now, I heard that it will, some people say that it takes up to about 15 hours to play through the game. And I think it's going to take me longer than that, because I am just wandering around in awe looking at this, looking at taking in the details, just playing around with matchboxes and little fiddly stuff that's all around, and it is such a beautiful act of desolation that you see there as the city's being as the city is destroyed in front of you, as you become this resistance fighter, Alyx, and working against a combine and seeing all these events unfold in front of you. It really is drawing you in with the story. It really does have the gameplay with it, the action, fight sequence. The only thing that I have as a little bit of criticism about the game is it doesn't give me enough ammo. Give me ammo. I know I have to pick through everything just to find 1 or 2 shells, or something like find this little thing called nectar, or Nixers or something like that, which you use to upgrade your weapons. Yes, you can find them around in abundance, but you pick up one here, you pick up one there. So that's the only gripe that I have about the game, is that the stuff isn't in excessive quantity. I don't want to be worrying about how many shotgun shells I have. So I can't use the shotgun because I've only got 3 shells left. Yes, they're quite good and effective against what they do, but I've only got 3 shots, and so I had to switch to like a pistol that's got 17 shots, so that's got a little bit more ammo that I can take in, or another weapon that's got 30 shots, but it uses up those ammo incredibly fast. So I know that's just my sense of style of gameplay. I'm from like the Doom school. Give me hordes and hordes of ammo so I can mow down hundreds of monsters and enemies and bad guys. That's what I kind of want. Now, in a sense, Alyx does give you that. You get the bad guys that come spawning in and running after you, and you have to like shoot them down and avoid them, and it does take a lot of skill, especially like those lightning dogs. Those lightning dogs was really something else. When you first experienced them, it was quite hard to just try and figure out how to take them down, because you saw bulges of... Oh yes, that's another good thing. I'll say thank you to the monsters who like to light up the vulnerable parts of their bodies with glowing bits of flesh and orange. Yeah, when I was like shooting the head crabs, you say the head crab, because you've got like these armoured head crabs that when you start shooting them, it just bounces off of them. But then when they rear up, you see like a nice glowing target right there. I thought, okay, there you go. Bang! Thank you for showing me your vulnerable soft so I can then shoot it. But yeah, that's all down in good gaming programming. But yes, Half-Life Alyx, I am loving this, and I will continue on playing this throughout the week into next week until I've actually finished it. The only problem that I have, I think you guys might have, is the FOV for the game, because at the moment the way that I'm streaming it via OBS is that on the Quest I have an option to cast it to a web browser, and I'm capturing that web browser. Unfortunately, what it's casting is like a small screen, like about this big. So what I have to do it's a square screen, but our screens that we watch on aren't a small tiny square. So what I had to do is I had to stretch it out a bit so it fills the screen. So therefore a lot of it might look a little bit wide or a little bit iffy or a little bit odd. And some people were saying that I was missing the interface. Because when I looked up on the screen, the spectator mode, you could see the interface with like the health and ammo, but it wasn't on the cast that I was broadcasting. So to kill 2 birds with one stone, to get it so that you've got a good decent POV and also you can see the interface, I would need to stream what is live on the TV. Unfortunately, the problem with that so far is that it doesn't have any audio. Now, if it had audio, then that would be great. But if it doesn't have audio, I might have to like rig it up with extra cables and auxiliary cable, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be rigging up auxiliary cable. I will do it if I have to do it, because I've already got a cable plugged up to me for the microphone. But yeah, if it has to come to it, I would like to try and avoid having to put in more cables between the headset and my computer, just because I'm already tangling myself up in it at the moment. But if I could find a way to actually get sound from the computer, because the game's practically playing on the computer first, then it's being sent to my headset. So why there isn't no sound coming out from the computer, I think that's something else that I need to look into. So if I can get it so you can get the audio, that will be perfect. So I'm going to look into that as the next thing. Speaking of, well, I'm not speaking of it, but I did just do it. Star Citizen. Okay, originally when I used to play Star Citizen on my old laptop, it is like watching a slideshow sometimes. The Star Citizen's technology is that it tries not to use the hardware in your computer, because everything that is done prior to you seeing it on your computer, it's all done server side. So from the shots you take to the movements to the rendering of everything, it's all done server side, and then it streams down to your computer, which is one of the reasons why they say that the best thing that you need when playing Star Citizen is an SSD hard drive, a solid state hard drive, because a solid state hard drive would be much faster, and not any particular solid state hard drive will do. You need to have some really good ones to actually make it work fine. Now, with that being said, when I was trying to stream from my computer, I don't know, I think because I had a lot of bad equipment that didn't really allow data transfer rate all that much, when I tried to stream it from my computer, you was getting less than 1 frame every 5 minutes. And I do mean it at that rate. It was like 1 frame, and then whilst I was like walking around on screen, you didn't see any update for like another 5 minutes or so before you saw something else. So that's why I'll say it was just unwatchable trying it on my laptop. So earlier on this week, as one of the tests, I actually did a live stream for Star Citizen. And what we did was basically we tried to just do a simple trip. Take out an 890 jump, take it to Deacon's Research Centre, bring out another spaceship to point into the hangar, then take the 890 jump to Port Olisar, replace the fighter in the hangar with an arrow, and then take it out and do a few bounty hunting missions, and just basically play around and just had a little bit of fun with that. And that worked really quite well. I mean, it was smooth. It worked really quite well, and I think that shows for good future episodes that we can be doing with Star Citizen, because I think that there is a lot that we can be doing with that. So at the moment I've got quite a fair amount of ships that I can be doing with. I've got a few missions, a few events that are coming up, especially like the Ninetales events. I can be doing more explosion montages, because I like to get whole loads of spaceships and start exploding them again, and basically just having fun with Star Citizen. So I think that there's going to be a big future in the future for Star Citizen, and I would like to see that through when it comes to it. One last thing that I wanted to talk about was something that I missed off last week. Last week I was doing we've been doing a heck of a lot more in relation to doing the Pistol Whip series. Now, so far I have managed to get the entire lot done. I've managed to get everything else done. So I've got basically the Classic, the Reloaded, the Heartbreaker, and the series. Sorry, the campaign series, all done. But doing that campaign was so painful. It was so annoying because it was crashing my headset. Whenever I tried loading it up, the headset would go very slow, and then trying to record at the same time, and then every now and again it would just crash. So I had to spend pretty much quite a fair few days just trying to do and complete the campaign missions, because I think that the campaign missions was designed for a much higher level piece of equipment than what the original Oculus Quest allowed for. I don't know if the Oculus Quest 2 is supposed to be the target choice of design, and it will work well with the Oculus Quest 2, or maybe in the Quest 3 when that eventually comes out. But as I said, I noticed that with the Quest, when I started loading up Pistol Whip, it really went on the go slow. But finally, I also, because because there was so many times when I was like knocking things like these lamps over and banging my head into this filing cabinet right here, and also knocking into the walls. I had to take the armbands off, so I couldn't complete the entire series with the armbands. I had to take it off midway through the reloaded section, because if I kept them on, it was just too much for me at that time. However, I did manage to get all of the original series, the classic series, done with the armbands on, and some of the some of the reloaded with the armbands as well. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about with the armbands, I'm talking about these. I got these little wristbands which weigh 2 kilos each. So I had 2 on each arm, which made a total of 8 kilos. I was wearing on my arms whilst I was like waving the pistol around, shooting at stuff. But yeah, that I got through the entire classic versions wearing those arm weights. But after a while, it got a little bit too much, and I'd rather take them off and just say, look, we're just going to have to take it down a bit, rather than destroy my home while I was knocking holes in walls with my fists. Because whilst I'm wearing those weights, my fists become really quite lethal and kind of can go through almost anything with those weights behind it. But hey ho, that is that. So going forward for the up and coming week, yes, I'm going to have more Half-Life Alyx. I'm going to experiment around with the streaming application to try and see if I can get it to go full screen rather than just a small square and I have to stretch it. I'm going to try and see if I can get it so that you've got the audio from the computer, and see how that goes. There are other games that I want to move on afterwards. After I finish, we have still got Doom that we want to do. Doom VR on the PlayStation PSVR. I want to do Boneworks on the computer, because I'm kind of looking forward to testing out Boneworks. And I want to play Eve VR. Not Eve, sorry, not Eve. Elite Dangerous VR. Because I've been wanting to play that for ages. I really wanted to get my hand on that, but just haven't been able to yet. So I am very much looking forward to these things that are coming up. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed in making this. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's so much more that's coming up. I think that we, with this new equipment, we are going to explode with ideas. There are going to be, I'm going to work on mixed reality. I've got so many PC VR games that I'm going to be trying out, along with a couple of more PSVR games that we're going to work out. So yeah, look forward to all of that coming up. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys out there.